let's talk about money. I like talking about money. I know many people feel uncomfortable talking about money, and I totally understand. I remember when I used to think that motivational speakers said all those things because they succeeded and they would make it look like it's easy or something. But the reality is that when we go deep into mindset studies, we got disconnected from money at some point. We all came from backgrounds with different views and perspectives about money. And that can translate into adulthood, the way you relate and connect to money. For instance, many people in our society still think that rich people get rich because they take advantage of the poor. I know genuine rich people who help more people in the process of getting rich. But if deep inside you still think money is something you should not speak about, money is something that is bad, it would be hard to get the kind of money you want. And I know that we live in a materialistic world where everything revolves around money. Just coming here today is money. You need gas in your car, you need that car, everything around you revolves around money. So money affects your life directly. How you make money, the kind of money you get will determine the quality of life you get. So that's why I like talking about this. And this picture is because when I grew up, I found ways of blaming people because of the poverty I grew up in. And if you ask people, why do you think you're struggling financially? Why do you think people are broke? Everybody has their own reason. And among some of the popular reasons are things like you'll hear people say the government is corrupt. That's why we're broke. But I realized that in every government, there are rich and poor people. Every country has rich people and poor people. So while the government has an effect on your wealth, it's usually not the government. I remember I've been joking sometimes. I would ask a Ghanaian person, why do you think people are struggling? He would say the president, the government. I asked a Nigerian person, he says the government, the president. The Cameroonian person, the president, the president. So I would like, if all these countries have similar problems and they don't have the same president, or their president didn't come from one mother, and they don't even know each other, there should be another cause of that difficulty. Now, background is something that counts. We've come a long way. Sometimes it feels like I'm not making it because, my background, I came from this kind of family, my dad was like this, I came from a broken home. We have the impression that kids who come from a broken home have lesser chances of succeeding. Yes, these things have effects, but we will get to the real cause of all this. Corrupt system, we've talked about that. Lack of capital. We know it. Many people attribute the lack of success to the lack of capital. And that's the reason why we find donations going to poor countries, millions and billions of dollars. The thing that came to my realization is that no third world country has moved from a third world to a first world country from donations, not even one, despite the millions of dollars in donations. And coming to capital, you will realize that most people who start up businesses fail in the first 5 years. That's a statistical fact. And the reason is that they always think that capital is the problem and they go for capital first. And capital without the person behind the capital will lead to no success. Destiny, something that being broke or being rich is a destiny. You're destined to be this. You're destined to be that. I have done a lot of research and studies when it comes to destiny. Are our lives pre-programmed and planned, or are we the ones shaping our lives? When I went deep into studying this, some things disturbed me. Because initially, I thought we create our future. Then I realized that there are people who can predict what's going to happen to you. Has anybody here ever had a dream and then got up and going and then see that same thing? Good. Does that mean that your life is already planned and you're just following a path and you have no control? So, when I went into those studies, I finally realized that your life is like a Lego game. Your life right now, it's already arranged based on your past and your present. Now, every time you make a shift in your decisions and change things here, it changes the whole line of trends again. It's doing that every second. The moment you take a decision and decide to do something different, it adjusts your path and leads to a different destiny. If you take another decision and do something different, it readjusts it. But if you do nothing and just follow things you've been doing, somebody can predict your future. That's the conclusion I came to. Bad luck. People think it's bad luck because things happen, right? Colonization and neocolonialism. This is a big one because I come from a background where people still think that if they are where they are today, it's because somebody colonized them and it's still influencing them. These things matter. I'm not saying that they don't count, but we're going to get to the main thing. Now, when I was going through all this, because I've dealt with a lot of mentors, I'm an immigrant who came here with 2 bags of 23 kilograms. We all know the 23 kilogram mark, right? I came here like that with nothing, started from zero, did all the mean jobs, and got to a point where I became financially free. It's been 6 years. I don't work on a job. I wake up when I want, do what I want. And I did set some financial goals for myself to test all the things I had learned, and I got them. So I'm not teaching. The other day, somebody asked me a question, Kennedy, why do you think you're the right person to teach this? I told them I'm not teaching what a mentor told me. I'm teaching what worked, and it has worked for many people. So what you are learning today, just take it, take action on it, and test it for yourself so that you can be a testimony someday and help other people. We are starting a movement. It's not a one-time thing. So when I looked at all this, somebody gave me this quote. It said, if you took all the money on earth from all the billionaires and millionaires and redistributed that money to everybody equally, in a few short years, that money will be back into the pockets of the original owners. I want you to take a moment and think about that if it's true. Right? When I got this phrase or this quote, it canceled all the reasons why I thought people were broke. And that's the reason why donations don't work. That's the reason why charity don't help people. Because no matter how much you donate, if the people are the same, they will always go back to where they were. I'm not saying donations are not good, you should not donate, but this is the real truth about the world. And this is why rich people keep getting richer. This is why a billionaire can donate half of his wealth and still gets more the next year. You are the source. So when I read this, it led me to changing this questioning and putting that arrow back to pointing at me, because that was me on the other side. And now that finger, I forgot that finger was pointing at me. So in reality, you are the main person in this game called life. And once you can change you, and I remember the master, he said, as a man thinketh, so is he. We shall get there. But the reality is, you are the main actor in your own life. If you can just forget about all the reasons that you are not succeeding or not making the kind of money you should make, correction. It doesn't mean everybody here is struggling financially. Many people are here doing businesses. I have my friend Nelson, he's an owner of multiple businesses around and stuff. I simply mean that this is a gathering where we can bring the best out of each other, get to our highest levels of finances, and then do the things we want to do in the world. Okay, so what's financial literacy? Because the reason we're here today is for financial literacy and a mindset shift. With all my research and dealing with great mentors, it ended up to the conclusion that what makes a man financially successful is his understanding or her understanding of money and how money works. Because money was created by people. It has a system. It follows a system. If you don't know how money works, you will work all the time, pay bills, and before you know it, your account is running short, and then you work for the next. Unfortunately, money is not taught in schools. I've been to school. I've been to kindergarten. Actually, not kindergarten. My parents were not rich to send me to kindergarten. So I went to primary school, secondary school, university. I've been in Europe for my master's degree. There is no school that teaches financial literacy. Even those that teach finances and banking for people to go and work in bank and do stuff. Not in the real sense of financial literacy. So this right here, we're creating something that is unique and that should grow so that we can all benefit from it. So what's financial literacy? Financial literacy is simply the possession of those skills and knowledge that can help you take the best decisions when it comes to your finances. That's it, pure and simple. So that's financial literacy. And what's mindset? Mindset, on the other hand, is the established set of attitude held by a person. Now, why do I prefer to combine financial literacy and mindset, not just financial literacy? The idea is that money is not just the paper you see, it's not just the coins. Money is like energy, right? When you have a set of attitude that aligns with the attraction and the growth of money, you make money easily. So if you have financial literacy without the right mindset, you likely will not have money. And even if you have money, you will probably lose it again. You see people who make a lot of money, do fine, and then it drops back down. So your mindset, your personality, everything comes into money. Good. Now, and that's how the Rise and Shine was born. So the objective of the Rise and Shine is literally to provide you with the skills and knowledge needed to develop the attitude of mind that will allow you to make the best decisions when it comes to your money. That's how the Rise and Shine is born. And again, this is the main objective. There's no other thing behind it. Yes, I have a system. I would want us to have a system where we can meet here monthly and be able to cover the cost of renting this hotel room and all the coffee and snacks we're gonna have and everything. But there is no other company behind this. There's no other products I'm gonna have to make you sign up and sell or do something. No, it's for financial literacy and a mindset shift. Because I know everybody needs it. Somebody has a family and just needs this knowledge to be able to manage their family so that they can live the life that they want. Somebody wants to go from there and run a business or maybe owns a business. Being an entrepreneur does not mean that you're financially literate. An entrepreneur is somebody who has an idea and wants to solve a problem. That's different from knowing how money works. So you can have a great idea, have a great business, but if the financial literacy is not there, your business might not grow. Mindset, on the other hand, is key. Because if you have a good business, have the financial literacy, but the right mindset is not there, it will go. So businesses succeed because of the person behind the business, not the type of business they do. And I had to test this on myself because when I started a home care business, that's something that is not in the realm of me doing it according to the general public. That's a healthcare industry dominated by women. But I did it. I answered phone calls. I met people. I talked to people. I was testing to see if this thing works for everybody. When I went into real estate, I had no idea what real estate is. Coming from Africa, I didn't even know the word real estate. I know you can buy houses and buy land, but we didn't call it real estate. So me being a landlord today, owning these properties, I just wanted to prove to myself that I can learn and do these things if I have the right mindset and have financial literacy. So when I talk to people, I tell them if I could do it, anybody can do it. I came straight from Africa. My accent is still bad. I'm still learning English. I'm an African person too. So I have probably all the things you would consider disadvantages, but it worked and it's working. Again, it's been 6 years. I don't have a job. I wake up in the morning. I decide what to do with my day. The business I do is helping more people, helping families, so you can make money and live a good life while helping other people in the process. That's the Rise and Shine movement. Now, the Rise and Shine University. I decided to introduce this at the very beginning because usually you come for some meeting and they tell you, no, it's just a meeting, and at the end of it, they want you to buy something and push on you. No, I want to talk about this from the very start. I decided to create an online platform because when I organized the last Rise and Shine meeting, many people could not come because their schedules are different. We live in a country where people work on Sundays, night shift, day shifts, and evening shifts. Many people wanted to have a recording or maybe have the thing online at some point. So I realized that for me to have this thing going, we need an online platform where somebody who is not comfortable or is not permitted by schedule or anything to come sit in a room can still have everything we're doing here. So it took me about 6 months to create this thing, the Rise and Shine University. I call it University because I just want to make it look different from other platforms. Now, what's the Rise and Shine University? It's everything we talk about online. I'm going to talk about it later, but this is simply a representation of this physical space but on an online, which means it's been recorded by all these camera people. After this event, I'm gonna upload everything there, so people who did not come here can still have it online. That's why I created the Rise and Shine University.